I was contacted by an Australian a few days ago that was following my work and was concerned about the current change of political parties in Australia and wanted me to take a look at the leaders to see if I recognized any of them because something just wasn't making sense to them. Well, I agree, it's not making sense because these individuals are not who they say they are. Now, as I did the research for this, I found this video.
Good potential senators from Tasmania. The party room has elected Christine to the leadership unanimously, and we will be holding a further party room meeting at 2 o'clock to determine who will replace Christine as deputy leader of the party.
And we will discuss the individuals standing in this group with Christine in the next video, as they are very important individuals when it comes to this family that we've been investigating. They are related to this man, and of course this man, whom you know as David Rockefeller and David Rockefeller Jr. And let's not forget Mr. Harley Davidson's wife, whom you know as a Sarah Silverman. Now all these names that they're using are fake. That's not their real family names, but you'll see who they're related to. So let's take a look at Christine Milne, and you'll notice that, first of all, the name game that they like to play. When you look at her name, it sort of looks like malign, so if you look that up, you'll see what that means. When I first saw Miss Milne's, I recognized her immediately. Now, most of you won't. Most of you are going to be shocked by this, but for some reason there was something about her face that triggered something that I knew exactly who that person was. And the name is Christine, but the last name is not. So let's take a look first at the prosthetics and the latex that they're using on her face, and then we'll get into the veneers on her teeth, and then we'll show you the comparisons and the proof. As we can see in this photograph here, we can see the extreme use of the latex and the prosthetic. As right here you can see where it hasn't blended in correctly. It goes up over the nose. This is going to be her real skin right here as they try to blend it together. And you can see the prosthetic goes down to here. It gets blended in here. Possibly comes down here. But we can see that it goes straight to here. Blending it in. And it goes down to here. This could also be a piece. And then they blend it in on the cheek. We can see that there's some latex being used right here. Her nose is real because we can see the skin color. You can see the latex doesn't get blended too well right there. And of course we can see her real cheek popping through right there. A little bit of latex right on that. But this area right here, that area right here, looks to be just covered with makeup, and that's real skin. She has also painted her lips on at the halfway point to make them look less full, to hide her real identity. Again, we can see the latex being used and not blended correctly. That's latex there. Slight latex. Not as much this time on the nose, on the corners here. And of course we have the cheek piece. And it does look like they're using a piece on the end. This is old age stipple. It's a type of latex that you let dry, and it causes the skin to wrinkle. That's regular latex, but she hasn't been covering it up correctly with the powder, or this is just at the end of the day and it's just come off. You can see that there's a possible piece attached right there as well. Now the teeth we're going to get into in a moment. and I'll show you exactly how they're doing that. As you watch this procedure being done, understand that these teeth are veneers in the front, but they're the temporary veneers in between the procedure before they put the permanent ones on. But I want you to notice just the temporary ones alone, the quality of them, as you'll see when they remove them here, what the teeth look like underneath. So you can clearly see how a tooth can be easily disguised and are easily disguised when it comes to Hollywood movies. As you can see, the teeth underneath were severely deformed, but the veneers absolutely look perfect. So now we take the same example, but we go in the other direction to use this technology as a way to mask a person's identity, as we'll see in this next person that we're identifying. In this next clip, I want you to pay particular attention to the freckles on her nose, and you'll see that they do not move at all between the subject number 1 and subject number 2. Let's watch that one more time, because it's very important that you notice that there is no movement whatsoever. And also note that these images are not edited at all. They are straight from the web. They were downloaded from a Google search for each of the individuals, and they're very high res, good images to use for the comparison. They are, again, not edited at all. Now let's move on to the eyes. We'll do one at a time. As you can see, the pupil, you can see the iris, the colors will stay the same. The structure of the eye stays the same, except for where the prosthetic is on the side of the face. You'll notice that she is wearing a lot of makeup, but still, that eye is the same. Now the color of your eye changes all the time, but we can still see that this is the same individual. Now notice the one speck in the eye. Keep your eye on that. And remember that we do have lens distortion to deal with, but you'll be able to see that that speck right there shifts only slightly. There it is. Now let's take a look at the mouth. You'll notice that the teeth, the front two teeth, are way too long. This is a veneer. It's to cover up her natural teeth. You'll notice that there is a slight lens distortion as the camera is on a slightly different angle, but we can still see that the shape of the nose, everything is exact. Now minus the prosthetics that are on the side of the face, and you can see we're looking at the same individual. So by now you're wanting to know, who is this person? Well, it's a shocker, let me tell you. Christina Applegate. We can also see that there's been an attachment added to the back portion of her ear. As you can see when we do the comparison, everything else matches except for the add-on piece, and we can see where that's added on. See the line right here where it is attached to it. All the other landmarks are consistent. Now Christina was hired by Jodie Foster a long time ago to work on a film, and they never got a chance to work on it because of some, I think there was a budget problem or something. But they are friends, and they were planning on working together. So we also see that Christina has worked with Johnny Knoxville from Jackass, the same Jackass crew that is involved with the rest of the scam that's being played out over here when it comes to the Occupied and all the other fake events. If you've enjoyed the presentation you've just seen, please remember to support Well-Aware One by going to the website and spreading the information to as many people as you can. You can also go to DallasGoldBug.com and also my Facebook page at Dallas Goldbug.